log in to KofiPaisaTV.com and get Spears of the Mossy Volume 1 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, From Spears the Pen Volume 2 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, Spiritual Combat Volume 3 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, One Night Before Bed by Any Harret Shun Calfunny, Kalawa's Trip to the Motherland by Kofi Paisa, From Cocaine to Consciousness by Any Harret Shun Calfunny, As I Learned, We All Learn by Kofi Paisa. Also, if you want fresh merch, go to our online store, Family Connect Apparel, and get all the brands. Also, get our 54 deck of quiz and educational cards available now on KofiPaisaTV.com.
All right, peace, and Black African Power. Welcome back to KofiPaisaTV.com. Oh, KofiPaisaTV.com. Welcome back to Kofi Paisa TV YouTube channel. Give me just a second, y'all. Let me do this. First, I want to say ETM Hotel. Dua Aku, Dua Netcha, Fatmu Alafie, Fatmu Riwi, Fatmu Iwa Pele, Majuba Iba Ie Gungun, Majuba Iba Ie Gungun, Majuba Iba Ie Lakba, Majuba Iba Ie Lakba, Igungun, Kiki Igungun. We always want to give honor and praises to our ancestors, because without the ancestors, we wouldn't be here. We are our ancestors. I also want to stand honor and praises to the true and living elders out there, according to an African perspective and an African world view. Again, like I said, welcome back. This is another edition of Warrior Scholar. This is our 13th or 14th guest on the show today, and we're gonna let him introduce himself in a minute before we get started. You know, we have to go through the formalities, so let's go through the formalities. And brother Sutek, we got one of the brothers from Kofi Paisa Research Team, brother Sutek, on the panel. Brother Sutek, you got anything for our share my screen?
Yeah, man. I just say peace to the panel, which is just us today, and peace to you, brother. Appreciate you for coming through, man. We really appreciate it. Can't wait to get into the conversation and the discussion to learn more. Make sure as y'all coming in, y'all like the show. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure you please share this out to your groups. Help us spread this word out. Help us spread this message. Kofi Paisa Research Team, we don't ask for nothing but a little bit of help as far as support-wise. But, yeah, man, I'm going to share the show and try to get some more people in here.
All right. Let me share my screen real quick. My screen. Let me go here. Where do I see it? Okay. Give me just a second, y'all. I should have had this pulled up. I wasn't even thinking. One second. Let me get my slides pulled up real quick. I had to re-download the slide. Well, I'll just do this then. Let me do this. Because this hadn't opened yet. I'll do it like this. My Oh. My screen sharing. You can see me. I can see my screen, can't
Yeah, you sharing.
you? Okay. Should have had my PowerPoint open up earlier. I had to download it. You know. And what's going on here? Okay, there it is. Hold on, let me see if this open now. Okay, never mind. I don't even gotta open it. Presentation coach, Mac. Presentation coach helps you to rehearse. I don't need that. All right. Let me enlarge this right quick and we'll get it in. All right. Again, we have a young great scholar on the panel. Like I said, I'll let him introduce himself in a minute, but welcome back to Warrior Scholars. As I learn, we all learn. Y'all know we follow that motto over here. As I learn, we all learn. We must not let our ancestors down. And we always dedicate the show to an ancestor. So today's show is only right that we dedicate the show to Kwame Nkrumah. A lot of y'all are already familiar with our great ancestor, but if you're not, he is a Ghanese politician, a Ghanese revolutionary. Was the first prime minister, first president, and led Ghana to its independence from Britain in 1956 or 1957, if I'm not mistaken. So Majuba Ibe
1957.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was one. I appreciate it.
6 March 1957.
All right, warrior. We have to define what a warrior is before we get started. A warrior is from the old French, from the old North French wara, an old French kura, wara, soldier, combative, one who wages war. From wara, wage war, from wara. Wara is a person engaged in experience in warfare, broadly a person engaged in some struggles or conflict. Scholar, a person who attends a school, studies under a teacher, a person who has done advanced studies in special fields, a person who learns, a learned person, a holder of scholarship, scholar, a person who studies a subject of great detail, especially at a university. My perspective of what a warrior scholar is. The meaning of a warrior scholar is someone who is well studied and waging war against mistruths, pseudoisms, and willing to stand on the battlefield against institutions and platforms that promote that. A warrior scholar is someone who is on a mission for the truth, for accurate information, accurate. I can't even speak today. Accurate and sound information. A warrior scholar is one who has discipline, good character, morals, and willing to fight back against those who use misinformation dangerously. T'Challa's perspective of what a warrior scholar is. A warrior scholar is one who has embarked on a journey of self-mastery through the rigorous physical trainings and effort to better one's state of being. A warrior is one who has embarked on the journey of self-mastery through countless hours of meditation in an effort to learn the art of stillness, becoming harmonious with the environment and all existence. A warrior is molded, guided, torn down, built up so that the people may live, and continue to proliferate. Those who seek this path knows their inviolable gifts of humility and knows their place among the hierarchy of people. But what does a warrior scholar has to do with a scholar? I mean, what does a warrior have to do with a scholar? A scholar is one who is embodied all of those concepts mentioned with the focus geared on towards scientific literacy and literacy as a whole. One must first be able to read and then develop superb reading and comprehension skills in order to properly relay messages received through one's scholastic endeavors. Proper demonstrations of methodology, if any style of discipline or field of study, it is the only way to reach a proper conclusion. So a warrior scholar is one who fights on behalf of universal truth, one who seeks the truth sets a standard to combat the omnipresent misinformation. One who stays in their lane, humility, and does not portray themselves as a master swordsman if they specialize in the spirit. Also, if you ain't got your shirt, please go to our online store, Mboka Family Connect Apparel, and get your Warrior Scholar shirts. Stop sharing my screen. Let me do this. All right. Go back here. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. All right, now, brother, go ahead and introduce yourself before we get into the interview, and let the people know who you are.
First of all, my name is mentioned Kwabena Selikem Redu Okatichi. And my birth name is Reggie Chiredu Watson. But because of when I came to know who I am, my heritage, so I decided to use my local name instead of the foreign name. So the Reggie is my foreign name. Yeah, I was born to an African parents. I was born in the States, but I grew up my whole life in Ghana. So my mom is like, because of our heritage. So my mom is Ghanaian, and part of it is Basotho, and my dad also is Ghanaian, Senegalese, and some of his heritage goes to Belize, which is the Garifuna people.
All right. Let me get my questions together real quick.
And also, when it comes to Africa, we come from ethnic groups, so it's kind of something else. Because of the mixtures, I have an Akan ancestry, Ewe,
we're gonna get into
Mamprosi, Fulani, and then I have Afro Belize, which is Garifuna.
Okay, yeah, we definitely gonna get into that. Peace family, please like and share the show. As y'all come in, please like the show. If your first time on the channel, please subscribe and please hit the notification bell so that you won't miss anything that we got going on when we go live. First question, I can't pronounce your name, so I'm gonna call you Kwame for the day.
Okay.
If that's all right.
And point of correction, your name is PC, not Pasai.
Yeah, I know it. I've been saying it for so long. I just keep it like that, and people always correct me. I know I pronounce it wrong, but I've been saying it for the past 4 years like that. People know it as Paisai, not PC. So, but
Can you pronounce your name one more time? I think I got it. I didn't say it too because I didn't want to mess it up.
Okay. The first name is Kwabena.
Kwabena, gotcha.
Yeah. And then Selikem.
Kwabena. Okay, I got that. I'm gonna try not to miss it.
And the last two is Redu Okatichi.
Okay. Well, brother Kwabena, the first question we ask everybody that comes on Warrior Scholar is, name some of your favorite scholars.
Henry Clerk, Cheikh Anta Diop. There are a lot of them. I have a lot of, scholars I listen to.
So them the only two that you can name right now is Cheikh Anta Diop, and what was the other one?
Henry Clerk.
Weren't you inspired by John Henry Clark as well?
Yeah, I was inspired by him, but mostly I was inspired by Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey?
Yeah.
Okay. You can't be mad with none of those. All right. Name the last book you read or a book that you are currently reading.
There are kind both in the continent and the diaspora.
Okay. Is something you currently reading now, or something that you already read?
Yeah, that's something I'm reading now, and also how the African culture end up in the diaspora.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was the authors of those books, if you don't mind me asking?
Kwesi Kunedu for the Akans on the continent and also the diaspora. Kwesi Kunedu is the one who authored the book.
All right. Break down, Brother Kwabena. Break down your name. Like you said, we trying to, get your name right. Like I said, I was finna call you Brother Kwame, but break down your name for us. Like I was telling you earlier, a lot of people that come on the show, especially those are trying to, uncolonize their minds and give themselves a name that represent, their culture and their tradition and their background and their roots. And we know in African culture and tradition, names are very, very, very important. A child does not exist until it gets a name. And a lot of times, a child, it just all depends on what ethnic group that you belong to. But most of the names are tied into the child's destiny. Some may be tied into when the child was born, what day the child was born, as myself. So can you break down your name for the listening audience, please?
Okay, Kwabena is a male born on Tuesday, but formerly I was called Kwame because I was named after my uncle because my uncle was called Che, which was my middle name.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first name is Kwabena. And then Selikem is an Ewe name. The Kwabena is Akan. For Akan, I belong to, we have many subgroups, so I belong to the Kwewu. And then the other one is Akwamu and then Ahanta.
Okay.
So the Kwabena is an Akan name which is used by different Akan, ethnic groups. Because Akans were broken up into different subgroups. And then Selikem, which is Ewe, which is mostly Anglo. And when it comes to Ewe, we have different subgroups. We have Avenon, we have Anglo, we have B, there are a lot of them. And the Redu too, which is the W1, which is an Akan, and Okatechi, which is also Akan.
So you said the Akwamu?
Akwamu.
Yeah, and I also heard you mention the Airway. Those are around Benin, Togo area.
Ghana. Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
We have some also in Nigeria, which are settlers in Nigeria. If you go to the Badagry area, you'll find some Ewes there.
Your mic muted, Kofi.
Yeah. Now you kind of mentioned that a while ago. You was that's why I was telling you. Hold on, we're gonna get into a lot of what you was, as you was introducing yourself. But where explain. You was born here in the States, right? You was born here in the United States.
Yeah, but I grew up in Ghana.
Okay, well,
I was raised there.
So okay, but we're gonna get into that as well. But where were you born here in the States?
I was born in the DC.
DC.
Yeah.
Okay. You were, and being born here in the States, and you mentioned your name. You mentioned the name that you was given, your European name, Reggie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Reggie.
So how was you brought up? How was you brought up over here? Was you brought up a Christian? Was you brought up a Muslim?
I was brought up in a Christian. My background is Christian. Yeah.
What kind of Christian?
My mom is Pentecostal and my dad is Presbyterian.
Oh, your dad is Presbyterian. Okay. And I'm asking that. Okay, so you was brought up as a Christian. You're from Ghana. Your mother is from Ghana. Your father is from Senegal. And
no, my mom is Ghanaian Basotho. My dad is Ghanaian Senegalese. And my dad, his paternal great-grandfather's father is from Belize.
Oh, okay. All right. I
Yeah.
thought you. So I mean, so where was your father born in Ghana, or was he born in Senegal?
My dad was born in Ghana.
He was born in Ghana, but
Yeah.
he has family in Senegal.
He has ancestry there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get more into your story and your journey, so you was raised as a Christian,
Yeah.
and you said you was raised as Pentecost, or you said your mother was a Pentecost and your dad was Presbyterian.
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember a while back. It's been a while back. I remember looking at an interview maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. I heard you mention that you was also Muslim. So how did you transition from being a Christian, and what gravitated you at that time to become a Muslim? And I guess this was all in the process of trying to find out who you are. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How I become a Muslim is, my great-grandfather is from the northern part of Ghana. He's a Mampusi. So that's around my paternal side. So, kind of, getting to know more. So I became a Muslim, which I was learning much about that religion as well. We have different branches, but I was learning about the branches, but I didn't like get into the branches. So I was practicing the main, religion.
How long was that school of thought? Wasn't very long.
And I didn't even take a long.
Mm-hmm.
That was like some months.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I came back to Christianity again.
Okay.
Because I found some fault with, that religion, the Islamic religion. I find some fault in it. Because when I begin to research, it says a whole lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, what inspired you? Or move you to start studying, researching your roots, your culture, your tradition, and your diversity in Africa? Because you well endowed with the diversity with different ethnic groups throughout West Africa. So what inspired you, or what moved you? Because you said you was born here you was born in the States, in the DC area.
Yeah.
And then you was brought up as a Christian. Your mother was a Pentecostal. Your daddy was a Presbyterian. You transitioned to becoming a Muslim for a few months, and you was like, nah, and you went back into Christianity. So what inspired you to say, okay, I want to know exactly who I am, where I come from, what my people, customs, traditions are?
It first started with, may you so rest in peace, Honorable El Shabazz. He inspired me a lot. He talked about us being, a European man's name, and how we become a property of a European person. It's like a Negropean, a person who have lost his or her identity. So part of it, he inspired me. So at first I deal with my name. I didn't want to, bear that name Reggie anymore. So I wanted to hold, my own traditional African name. And after that too, first I dig more into different ethnic groups in Africa. And then I also research about the diaspora. And I find a lot of stuff, similar. There's like the culture and stuff that people do in the Caribbean and Latin America is quite similar. Like if you go to Jamaica, you might find some people who are like Igbo descent, Akan descent. If you go to Brazil, you might find people who are Yoruba descent. It's kind of, the culture is like mixed. You might find people in the diaspora whose culture is similar to the continent. And due to slavery, many people come from different ethnic groups, But according to research, mostly they tell you what tribe that people in the diaspora came from.
So you saying so it started out with changing your name, and from
Yeah.
changing your name, you know, you started looking into what the connection of that name, and you started. You said you started in the Caribbean first, and then you went back into Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
And then Latin America.
oh, in Latin. Okay, in Latin America. So you have roots in Ghana, Senegal, Lesotho, and then you said and yesterday when we was messaging each other,
Mm-hmm.
you said you found out you had roots in Belize and what was
Yeah.
okay in Belize. So but first let's talk about you said you was born here in the States
Mm-hmm.
and then you left at the age of 6 and went back to Ghana.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your experience as a 6-year-old boy leaving the States and this again going back to Ghana to your homeland, to your mother and father's homeland. Can you kind of talk about that experience going back at that age? Was it a culture shock for you when you reached there?
Yeah, I was kind of culture shocked. When I went there, you have the American lifestyle in you, so Americanized the way you speak, and sometimes when you're speaking the local dialect, you cannot even speak it well, you know. And I find a lot of stuff strange because in my like where my ancestry is, the disciplined children, they're gonna spank you and discipline, and you learn how to respect, your elders. There's a lot of responsibility, cleaning, washing the dishes, doing a lot of stuff. But when it comes to US here, I would say that everything is, people get it cheap because you have laundry, you have vacuum cleaner and a lot of stuff. But when back home, it's not like that. It's kind of different lifestyle. And I attended, I would say the school I attended are mostly Christian schools. I attended God is Able Preparatory School. That was in the eastern region of Ghana, the eastern part of Ghana. We call it Nkoko. And I also went to school in Most Holy Heart. That was a kind of a Roman Catholic school. And then I also went to another Christian school, which was called Good Samaritan. But in the States, before I even left for the Ghana, I went to school called Strawberry Knoll, which is in Maryland. And I also went to Chandler and Elementary School. Yeah, in the States here. Back in Ghana, they don't teach us much about our heritage. We're kind of lost. They teach us foreign stuff. And we don't even know much about ourselves.
So okay, now right there, you mentioned going back to Ghana, and you mentioned the schools, you named the schools you went to, and majority of the schools that you went to, was Christian schools that you went to, and you said that a lot of the people there was lost. Can you kind of explain that for people that may not know why, because some people may be listening or go back in the archives and listen and it's not well studied like we may be, you know what I'm saying? Because we have people that are well studied that watch the channel. We have people that are just now trying to learn and figure out what's going on, and so how can you explain how the people in Ghana are lost and majority of the schools being Christian schools? You mentioned you went to a Catholic church. A lot of people may not know that at one point in time that the British colonized that area at one time. So can you kind of talk about that?
Sure. We don't know much about our heritage. even if you tell them about their culture, tradition, they have no idea. And another one too, they don't even know some of them don't even know where they come from. They don't even know their family history. I would say most of them don't know their family history. I'll put it in that context. Now, when it comes to colonization, we had a lot of people who come. We had Diego de Azambuja, which came around the 1400, was an explorer, and also a trader, who also came, like a slave trader who came to Ghana. So the first people who came, the first Europeans were the Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the Dutch. Some sources also state that Germans also came. Yeah. And then we have the Dutch and then the British
Right. And then you said the Portuguese came
first.
early, the first for the
If
1400s.
the Portuguese were fighting, they were fighting with other Europeans. If not, by now, Ghana will be speaking Portuguese language as official language instead of English.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the official language. That's still the official language over there now. It's Portuguese.
No, English.
English is the
Yeah.
okay. And
Country that speak Portuguese is Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Angola, Mozambique. Yeah.
But the official language there now is because the British was the last people that colonized that area, so that's why it became. And I'm just throwing that out there for people that may know. So even what he said the Portuguese. He said, and we already know, people that follow this channel and Massey Warrior Clan channel.
Mm-hmm.
We talk. We have talked extensively about the mission of the Portuguese. One of their mission was to bring in Christianity. Or we know when Europeans come in, they bring they bring in the missionaries.
Roman Catholicism was the first,
mm-hmm.
And then other denominations. We had the Anglican, Presby, Methodist, and so on, and other what you call denomination of the Christianity. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So from the 1400s, so you can say from the 14th or the 15th century, all the way, up until, well, I ain't gonna say no up until, because I mean, even we'll get into that. I want to get into that too about the government, but but I'm just trying to paint a picture so people can understand why you said what you said by the people in Ghana is lost, why you went to majority of Christian schools, because you had foreigners who came in. You mentioned the Portuguese, you mentioned French, you mentioned the Dutch, you mentioned the British, and we know all those people
the Germans
practice Christianity. So that is why through colonization of these foreign people coming in and colonizing these groups of people, and giving them their way of life, educating them the way that they want them to be educated, and instilling hate of their own culture. Can you talk about some of the things that was frowned upon? Because I'm quite sure, did you experience some of those things where particular person wanted to or were trying to practice this indigenous tradition and was frowned upon or called the heathen or called a paganist or called a devil? Did you see or experience? Did you see some of that going on over there in Ghana when you and your mother went back home?
Yeah, mostly I would say our traditions and culture, most of them are frowned upon. In their kind people, we have Bragro, and then the Krobos have the dimple, kind of expose their, how we call, excuse my language, boobs, it's kind of puberty rights, yeah. And also, I would say a lot of there are a lot of stuff that they frown upon.
That's crazy, man. I mean, and it's still crazy because it's still going on today, in Africa, and it's going on over here, in America, as well as Central America, as well as the Caribbean islands. We are being, and I'm from Mississippi, and
also, you see, we have like mostly in the African culture, they have white stuff which they used to paint, their faces. They frown upon that one too.
Yeah, and I'm from
even speaking your local language in school is considered like, something which is not good. They have brainwashed us to believe that speaking our indigenous language in school or in, other areas is not considered as somebody who is, smart enough. They look down upon you.
Oh, okay. So if you spoke your indigenous language
in school,
you was frowned upon. That was frowned upon.
Yes.
Wow. See, I didn't know that. Peace to everybody in the chat, man. Peace to everybody in the chat. Please like and share the show. Please like and share the show. And like I was saying, I'm from the Bible Belt. I'm from Mississippi, so majority of the people in Mississippi are Christians, and a lot of my family, especially on my father's side, I say it all the time. My father is a Baptist preacher, has his own church, and my father's side of the family they are what I would say crazy, insane Christians, but not, and certain parts of the family, they frowned upon me when I began to start to search and, my roots and say, I'm not going back to church. And I started questioning the Bible and certain things like that for a long time. It was frowned upon. And, me being around certain people, and even like now when I get introduced to certain people and I tell them I'm not a Christian, or I don't go to church, I don't prescribe to the Bible, or people that I meet. I don't really meet too many Muslims here. Like I said, most of the people in Mississippi are Christian. The Muslims are very, it's very slim here. I know a few, but like I said, Christians, and I have heard and experienced, firsthand myself, people calling other people and even myself heathens and pagans, and saying I'm a bust hell wide open and stuff because I didn't prescribe to Christianity. Yeah. So so I understand. So that mentality of us hating our traditions is embedded deep into our DNA, man, and it still is crazy. Like I said, it's still going on. Now you mentioned that you were a part of the Akan and various, and the Akan has various subgroups. You mentioned subgroup that you belong to. Akumi, are you a practitioner of Akumi, and is you familiar with Akumi, the traditions in Ghana that is practiced by the Akan and the Shanti and so forth?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. It's also practiced in the Caribbean as well. If you go to Jamaica, if you go to Guyana, Suriname, they still practice it. It's practiced in Ghana as well.
Is it called Akumi though? It's called something different over there though, ain't it? Not in Ghana, but I'm saying you mentioned in the Caribbean and stuff, it's a little bit different, ain't it?
Yeah, it's spelled in different ways, but we have in our Douglas, the tree Douglas, we have a specific name which we call.
Are you familiar with the Winti? Because if you look in that area, you have some people that practice a tradition called Winti, and it's a synchronism of Akumi, Voodoo, and Christianity. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. So
I actually did. When was that? Was it well, it's 2018, 2019. I did a research about Suriname. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I did, I saw it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a
The
lot of
Komansi
it.
people, which are Akan descent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was that place called? And I'm mentioning that because like when it veers, and nothing wrong with that. I personally nothing wrong with that when a tradition leaves, because we migrated, whether we migrated forcefully or we migrated on our own. You know, and when we got to a certain place, whatever that we may practice, it may changes, it may varies because of the geographical location. And people don't have an understanding of that traditions, most of the traditions is
And the
based
language
off,
too.
right, is especially the traditions and the customs is based off the geographical location. So it may changes. And so I'm throwing it out because you know, some people may have an issue with that because they're not. Now I have an issue with syncretism. Now I understand syncretism might have been the way in those days because they was trying to synchronize, because they was synchronize their indigenous tradition with the slave master of the oppressor tradition. You know what I'm saying? Just to try to hide it from the slave master, because we know that once our people was enslaved, we were stripped of our native tongue, we were stripped of our culture, we were stripped of our traditions, and so forth. But you know, in the 21st century now, you know, I have an issue with that. But if someone, let's say like the African American, if we are the African in America, the African in America, if we all came together and say, hey, we want to create a tradition that fits us, nothing wrong with creating something for us, because again, when you go and look at these different traditions, whether you look at the Akumi, you look at the Voodoo, you look at Fatarug, which we're going to talk about Fatarug in a minute, you look at Fatarug, you look at the Ordinani tradition by the Igbo, you look at the Yoruba people, Isheshe, you know, if you look at the Chui people, the Gulu, Wankulu, you look at the Zulu, the Amazulu traditions, all of those traditions are based off a geographical location. Every ethnic group, there's a 4,400 different ethnic groups in Africa. And even though they have their indigenous traditions, they majority are the same, but they vary because of the geographical location. Some items that you may have in Ghana, you may not have in Mozambique. You know, some natural resources that you use for your culture, you may have in Mozambique, you may not have in let's just say you may not have in Guinea-Bissau, because of the geographical location. So there's different natural resources, and the environment is a little bit different. Some of the natural phenomenons, you may not have sand or deserts in a certain particular place. So it just your traditions vary. So I have no problem with people creating their own, because that's what they did in time and memorial. I talk about that a whole lot in my upcoming book. But do you practice Akumi or some form of Akumi?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What about now you mentioned that your father also has heritage, and you also have heritage in Senegal. Can you talk about Senegal for you? You hadn't been to Senegal yet, though, have you?
No, I'm planning to visit one day. I've never been to Senegal.
Okay, but can you explain Senegal and the people in Senegal? And before you do that, do you know what ethnic group your father roots descend from in Senegal? Is he a part of the
Fulani people?
The Fulani? Okay, it's the part of the Fulani. Okay. But can you talk about Senegal And are you familiar with Fataru? That their indigenous tradition, Fataru.
When you talk about Senegal, we have many ethnic groups. We have the Sere, we have Wolof, we have Fulani. You know, the ethnic group, there are a lot of them. We have some of the Balanta people, which the Balanta mostly can find them in Guinea-Bissau. So we have Balanta also in Senegal as well, but we don't have a lot of them in there.
Are you familiar with the Fataru tradition, or
Yeah,
you
I've
not?
heard of it, but I'm still doing more research on it.
Okay. We whenever you get a chance, man, it ain't on this channel here. It ain't on Kofi Paisai TV. On Masi Warrior Clan, me and our brother Ben, we did a full presentation on the Fataru tradition in Senegal, and we submitted it to a council in Senegal, and they looked at it, and for the most part, we was dead on with a lot of stuff. It was, if I had to get, if I would say they gave us a grade, they gave us a 90. They gave us a 90 because
Okay.
the critique that they gave us, it wasn't a whole lot of critique with the presentation that we did on the Fataru, and I did a lot of thorough research on the Fataru tradition in Senegal, and also, like I said, we got a relationship in Gambia, and a lot of times when people say Senegal, they always just they throw Gambia in Senegambia. So we have a relationship in Gambia where we have two of our publications, Spirits of the Massa Historical Survey in the Minds of African Warrior Scholars, Volume 1, from Spirits of the Pen, Historical Survey in the Minds of African Warrior Scholars, Volume 2, in Gambia. And we have a scholarship where we fund, and hopefully we'll be able to fund more students this year before the end of the year out. That's the plan. And we have a scholarship where we fund students. And the founder of the schools that we got our textbooks and we have the scholarships at, the Gay and Journal Skills Academy, she has 4 schools, and her husband is a part of they're Muslims. They're Muslims, but they also practice Fataru too. So I talked to them about it as well, and like I said, for the most part, from the research that we done, we was pretty spot on with them dealing with the Fataru tradition. It's very interesting, man. It's this very interesting tradition. Lesotho, man. Talk about your roots there, and talk about the people and the culture in Lesotho, because you don't hear Lesotho that much. People may not even know where Lesotho is. So can you talk about them? Because you never I'm familiar with them. I'm not as well endowed with them as I am in other different ethnic groups throughout West Africa and Central Africa, but I know a little bit about the Lesotho people, but you never hear a lot of people talk about the Lesotho people. So can you talk about the people and the culture, and what part of Africa is Lesotho at, for people that may not know, because people may be like, I ain't never heard of it.
Lesotho is in the Southern Africa.
Mm-hmm.
It shares borders with South Africa.
With the Amazulu, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with some of the customs and traditions down there? Or?
Yeah, I'm still digging, still learning.
You still digging?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. But we'll move on to the next question. let's talk about your website, man. You have a website called rediscoveryafricanheritage.wordpress.com.
Yeah,
I came across you maybe about 4 years ago, and I paid attention to your Facebook page, man, that you had, and you had a lot of phenomenal information on your page, and I was like, I wonder why he's not writing some of this stuff. And then later on, I found out you had a I don't know why you got this plugged up. You had a website WordPress page, man. So are you still putting up information? And can you talk about what motivated you, inspired you to put up this page? Because I'll keep it all the way a buck with you too. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but I sourced some of the information from your website about 2 years ago. I don't know what I done 1,000 presentations, man. So it's hard to keep up with what I did. It's a lot of stuff I done did in West Africa. And I can't remember exactly what I sourced from you, but I sourced something from your website that you had, man. So what inspired you to say, hey, man, look, let me go ahead and put a website together and put some information out? So can you talk about that and talk about some of the stuff that you got on there? And are you still putting information up on that, man? It's a great website, by the way. And family, when y'all get a chance, y'all need to go check that out. His WordPress.com out as well. Again, it's called Rediscovery African Heritage, man. It has some good information on there. But can you talk about it?
yeah. I was inspired by a Ghanaian guy, which is he's Guy Infanti, from the Guy Infanti tribe. His name is Kweku Dankwa. He's been doing a lot of research about the motherland and different ethnic groups. So he inspired me to do the work I'm doing.
So what all you got up on the website? Can you tell some of the people what they got on there, so they can go check it out, man? What all, you got a lot of stuff on there. What all you got on your website?
Yeah, it's about the ethnic groups in the motherland and also the diaspora. Like, let's say the tribes in Africa and their connection to the diaspora. That's mostly what the blog is about. And also letting other people know their heritage as well.
Yeah, I'll post that in just a second, Brother Saru.
What's the name of the WordPress again? I'm gonna drop the link in the chat.
It's rediscover African heritage.wordpress.com. Rediscovering African heritage.wordpress.com. And Saru has a question that I got pinned up here. He says, what is the brother take on Efe in South Africa? Are you familiar with the Efe in South Africa?
I'm familiar with Julius Malema. I've been learning much about him and what he stands for.
Okay. Zane put it in there. He's out. Let me pin it right here too. Post the site, please. Okay, there it is. Rediscovering African Heritage .wordpress.com. So he has it in there. So yeah, go check that out.
It's Rediscovering Africa, not with an N.
Yeah, he got it in. I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing it wrong, but yeah, Rediscovering. He got it up there. You see it right there, Brother Carver?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, is that right? Right there where I got pinned?
I got it.
Yeah.
He got it.
Okay. The link in the chat.
All right. So there it is. He got it. You got it in there, brother. Sutek, you got any questions you would like to ask our good brother?
Yeah, man. I I didn't know if this was one of your questions, but I'll ask anyway. How were you received being a brother from the continent coming to America? Or like how did American black people receive you?
You know, part of it is my accent. They don't even recognize me as their brother. I'm from different place. Them also are from different place. And some even come to my face and tell them that they are not from the motherland. The Americans. They are mostly this, the Hebrew Israelites folks and the Aboriginal folks. Yeah, that's what they tell me. I'm not their brother. I'm not one of them.
Yeah. We got a growing community of African Americans that feel or want to disconnect themselves to Africa. It's just pure ignorance, and I apologize for that community. We apologize here at Kofi Paisa Research Team. Even though we don't speak for them and they don't speak for us, it's still crazy, man. Yeah. I apologize about that. But also, I wanted to know, are you familiar with any of the history of North Africa?
Yeah, mostly Libya. Yeah.
Right. Okay, those Berbers or Amazon up there. Just for clarification, I know the answer to this question, but those of this community, for clarification for them, are those Berbers and the blacks like me and you, like, are we the same people?
If you talk about the indigenous people, the Berbers are like dark-skinned people. Yeah, that's the indigenous people of North Africa. And we are the same people. And mostly some ethnic groups in what you call West Africa, Mali, mostly ended up in North Africa.
Right. I'm speaking on those Berbers who would call themselves Albidan, the whites.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you see yourself as the same as those people?
First of all, it's all brainwashing and whitewashing history. They are dark-skinned people. Recently I did a research, I find dark-skinned people. So mostly they are dark-skinned people. But because of what happened is that when the Arabs took over the North Africa, they feel that they are more North African than the dark-skinned people over there.
Okay.
Okay. Man, I ain't got but one more
And
question.
when I was filling the application, you see they give a list. Black, for example, black, or let's say African American, a person who has, ancestry in sub-Saharan Africa. White, a person who has ancestry in Europe. In Asia, they tell you what exactly is. What exactly is. So when I was filling the application, when I see North Africa, they said Caucasian or white. So I was like, what is going on here? It's kind of strange.
Oh, you on the application? They have that on the application?
Yeah. I can't quite remember what application is. I'll look for it. If I find it, I'll send it to you. I'll look for it.
Yeah, because I know, white is a status.
Yeah.
White is a status, and I know, they had a brother who came from North Africa, Egypt to be exact, and he had to file. I think they made him file up under white status. Under white status, but I never seen that where I filled out. Well, here, you know, we kind of behind a little bit over here in Mississippi, but dang. Let me let Sue take Mississippi, right?
Yeah, and also he said, unfortunately, the African in America has been conditioned to hate Africa. Yeah, part of it is, the brainwashing. Yeah, and also I can say religion plays a big part as well. And also, Europe, like let's say Caucasians have made, African Americans, or let's say Africans in America, to hate their brother. They made us believe that we are the one who sold them. So that's why all this is happening.
Okay, you said, say that again now. I'm sorry. You said we believe that what now?
Caucasians have made Africans in America believe that we are the one who sold them. And also, let's say the history, like the brainwashing education system as well. And then we have religion as well.
Right. You absolutely right. I agree with you on that too. Because when I do talk to some people, that's some of the stuff that has come up in the past, man. Because I experienced that too. Whether people say they ain't African or they didn't come from Africa. Like I'm not making none of this stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
This, like I said, I'm from Mississippi. I'm from the Bible Belt. And anybody know anything about Mississippi, know anything about the South.
They are from the promised land.
Yeah, know
Israel.
anything about the South. I'm telling you now.
Some claim they are from the promised land, Israel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I definitely, man, experienced a lot of that, man. But we coming up a little bit over an hour. Beautiful Houtier, Sister Julanda. I only got one more question for you, brother, man, and that's what you got coming up, man, or what you working on, such as articles, books, or trips. What you got planned, man? What do you got planned for the future?
I have a lot in mind, Part of me, I'm a cultural activist, I'm a human rights activist as well, Pan-Africanist, and I do poetry sometimes. Mostly, what I want to do now is that I want to travel across the continents. I've been doing research about unknown tribes, which I want to sit with elders, record their history and everything, do documentaries, and then start publishing books about unknown ethnic groups in the motherland. And also, right now I'm writing a book about myself, my autobiography, my ancestry as well, and my family history, which, soon I'll be able to publish the book. Yeah. And also, I'm trying to get my own TV station, which mostly to be about, Black consciousness. We talk much about our culture, our history, and a lot of stuff. When I get to the motherland, when I move to the motherland, I'll start my own TV station as well. And I also have a plan which I want to build a school, which it will be centered most in our local language. So whatever region in Africa is, whatever language is spoken mostly will be taught in schools as well. We will have our own education system, which is different from what the Europeans give to our people.
What place you gonna repatriate to? You gonna go back to Ghana? You going to Senegal, or where you?
Yeah, I'll repatriate to Ghana. I won't stay there for long because I grew up there, so I know how Ghana is like. But mostly, I'll spend my life in Lesotho in Senegal.
Okay. Yeah, and real quick, I forgot to ask you about this. How long were you in Ghana when you was in Ghana? You moved there at 6. How long were you there?
10 years.
Oh, you was there for 10 years, and then y'all came back. Okay. So do you speak? Is it Twi? Do you speak Twi?
Twi. Yeah, I speak Twi. Okay. We have different type of Twi. We have Fanti tree, we have Enzima tree, we have Ahanta tree, we have Wasa tree. So the tree, we have a different form of tree. We have the Equiapim tree. The Equiapim people are in the eastern region of Ghana. And then followed by, we have the Aquamoons. Yeah.
What is the difference between them? What the dialect? Like, you know, what I mean by the dialect, you know, the different, very like I'm from the South, so you can tell the way I speak. I speak differently than a person that's up north. You know, I may say, shoot, it's my birthday. You know, somebody up north may say it's my birthday. You know what I'm saying? So is it something dealing different with the dialects, or it's just
Yeah,
totally
the tree that is spoken the most is the Asante tree, which is spoken by the Akwamu, the Kwewu people. Like I have heritage with the Kwewu people, the Akwamu, and then the Ahanta people. Now the tree is kind of different. Let's say, for example, we say Etiseng, Fanti will say Otinden. You see the pronunciation, and I would say the dialect is different.
Yeah, it's just a different dialect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. I was trying to see what he's saying. He's saying, Tyro's saying it's kicking him out of the website. He said he just tried it from 2 different devices.
Like Etiseng means how are you? And you say yeah. But a Fanti will say Otinden, and the Fanti person reply Oye. So you have different kind of pronunciations.
Right. It's just like because I'm learning Spanish because I live in California and I'm so close in relation to a lot of native Spanish speakers, so it's much easier. And then I want to learn the African language next, so it'll already be easier. But like Mexican Spanish and Spanish from Spain is
different.
2 different dialects.
Yeah.
It's different.
That might be okay. That's just Saru Zane said he's not getting kicked out. Saru.
Like nosotros, like if you go to Spain, is vosotros. Yeah, I took some Spanish class back in high school. Yeah.
Yep. Vosotros, nosotros.
Yeah, nosotros. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, man, that's all I have, man. I wanted to kind of keep it kind of short, nothing under an hour and a half. We lately been going over an hour and a half. So we at the hour and 8 mark. So we doing pretty good, man. Do you have any last words, man, before we end the show, man? I appreciate you for joining the panel, man, and being a part of the broadcast today, man. So do you have the book, man, the book. When you get ready for the book, and like I said, with help with the book and things with the book, I want to talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you offline about that because we got some things brewing in the pot that I think I spoke to you about. I didn't speak in depth of what's brewing in the pot, but we have some new business, a new business, and we'll probably go public with it tomorrow. So yeah, definitely, man, hit me up, man, with that as far as your book, your autobiography book, man, that's coming out. But again, like I said, man, I appreciate you for coming, coming on, man. But do you have any last words, man? You know what I'm saying? Or a statement that you would like to give, man, before we end this broadcast?
Yeah, a little bit. I want to touch about the Gula people, the Gula Geechee. You know, in Liberia and some part of Sierra Leone, we also have a tribe known as the Gola, but it's spelled differently from the way it's pronounced in the America.
Right, it's Gola.
But mostly the Gola Geechee are of the Mende, Timine, ethnic group. Yeah.
And what when you say you said you were part of you what about them? You study them? What you saying you're a part of those ethnic groups as well? Or
No, no.
oh,
Actually, my dad's side is we have Ghanaians, Senegalese, and then Belize. Yeah.
yeah, I'm familiar with the Gala, the Gula, and the Geechee people. But man, with that, man, we gonna go ahead and end it
You
like I
see the
said.
way they speak their English. You can see it's similar to Sierra Leone pidgin.
Oh, you talking about the Gullah Geechee people?
Yeah.
Oh man, brother, I'm telling you, it's so hard. Like
Somebody from Sierra Leone can easily understand what a Gola person is saying in America.
yeah, I can't hardly understand what they be saying. I'll be honest. I've been trying to study some of the language, and get it down.
And
I
also,
know.
if you go to the Caribbeans, you see some phrases that we speak in the motherland, like mumu, stuff like that. You see, it's kind of similar to West African pidgin.
Yeah,
Some phrases.
because the Gullah Geechee people, man, they're a mix of different ethnic groups. That's why you see that, because you like you mentioned the Mende people, the Kono, the Kissi, the Susu, although
We also
it's
have
so many.
Susu ethnic group also in
So
Guinea.
many. They're in Guinea as well. It's just so many. So they're mixed with a variety. They're not just one specific
And Patois
ethnic
also
group.
has an element of Twi, Ga, Ewe, and Igbo and Yoruba, some words, even some Fulani words.
Yep, there you have it, man. Like I said again, appreciate you, man, for coming on, man. Family, I said ETM Hotel, which means bring forth peace. I said that in the beginning. So now
And
I'll
also
say
your name, the PC means firstborn.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And yes, sir. Firstborn. Kofi means born, or Kofi means born on Friday.
You and my dad the same name, Kofi.
Yeah, and I took that name. It's crazy. And I end it because we gotta wrap it up. But it's crazy, how I chose that name. Like I chose that name for myself before I took a DNA test.
Wow.
And I thought, and I was everybody that know a couple of years ago, all I talked about was the Gullah Geechee people. And I have roots in Sierra Leone, and I keep talking about my kin folks. I don't have a relationship with. They older than I have. I done talked about this before. They older than I have. They go to Sierra Leone every year, so I do have that connection with the Gullah Geechee. And one of the Gullah Geechee brothers that I interviewed, he actually, once I did my DNA test, I found out that this brother was my second color. He's a Gullah. He's a Gullah.
Okay.
And so, I got that. So that's another place that I'm going to go pretty soon. But going back to me picking my name, I liked the name. I picked the name, and it was connected to Ghana. So after I did I started calling myself, and I called myself Kofi Paisai, but I didn't pronounce the Paisai right for years. I still say Paisai because everybody still pronounce it as Paisai, but I know it's Piche. So yes. So it was crazy. Once I did my DNA test and I got my DNA test back, my results was Ghana, Nigerian, and Sierra Leone. I forgot what my percentage of both of my. I have maybe like, what was it? I think it might have been like, dang, I can't remember what it was, but both of them, the percentages was high. And then I found out there's some more digging that my mother and my father was in the Great Bantu migration. My father side of the family comes from Kenya, from East Africa. So they migrated from East Africa into Nigeria, and they've been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. And my mother, she migrated during the Bantu migration from Uganda, which is also in East Africa, and they migrated from East Africa into Ghana, and they've been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. So, you know, and I told my mom, you know, where she starts, where her family root starts from, and then where they migrated it. I can't remember exactly how long they've been in Ghana, but they've been there for hundreds of years. And I was telling her about my, my name. I had already told her about my name because I actually wanted to change my name a few, maybe about 5 years ago. I was in the process of changing my name to Kofi Peshe, and legally, but my mother talked me out of it. And I have a unique name. My real name is Labaris. So I know a Labaris, but we the only two Labarises I know that I have encountered, and his name is spelled different. So my name is unique, and then my middle name is Kente. So, and she was explaining what my middle name was, where she got Kente from. She got my middle name from Kunta Kinte, from the movie Kunta Kinte. And it's crazy. My middle name, I hated my middle name. Always. I never told anybody my middle name. When people ask, do I got a middle name? No, I don't have a middle name. My name is Labaris Nelson, which Nelson is a Slavic name. My ancestors was enslaved by the Slavics. So it's a Slavic name, Nelson. And so I would never tell anybody my middle name. I hated my middle name, but I'm proud of my middle name now more than ever. So when she explained to me why she gave me the middle name of Kente, it resonated with me, and I was like, I'm not going to change my name at all. I have a unique first name already, and then my middle name actually means something, and it is connected to, my middle name is actually connected to West Africa. So there's no need of changing my name legally, but everybody knows me as Kofi. So even here, everybody calls me Kofi, and call me Kofi Paisa, Kofi Peshe. So, but yeah, man, I picked that name and didn't even know that my roots descend to Ghana. So, man, that was crazy. So I picked definitely a good name for myself, man. But like I said again, man, appreciate you for joining the panel, man. Appreciate you for letting us interview you, man, and prick your brain, man. And we appreciate you sharing your experiences here in the States, and your experiences when you went back home to Ghana, man. So we greatly appreciate it, man. And if it's anything that you need from us, like I said, hit us up, especially when you get ready to, put that book together. Like I said, we got a new business venture, that we've been working on for a few months. And, and we just been waiting on the right time to go public with our new business venture, man. So y'all definitely be on the lookout for that. And if you ain't got our books, please go and get the various publications that we have out. Go get, our latest edition, Spiritual Combat, Historical Survey in the Minds of African Warrior Scholars, Volume 1.
Is it on Amazon?
Yes, it's on Amazon, and it's on our website, KofiPaisaTV.com. If you want to purchase it, I got plenty on hand, plenty in stock. If you ain't got the rest of our books, I ain't gonna pull all of them off the shelf, but Volume 1.
But do you have a PDF or no?
Nah, I don't have any PDF.
Okay.
Spirits of the Masi, Historical Survey in the Minds of African Warrior Scholars, Volume 1. Please get that one. From Spirit to Pen, Historical Survey in the Minds of African Warrior Scholars, Volume 2. Also get my As I Learn, We All Learn publication. Get my Kalawa's Trip to the Motherland. It's a children book. inspired by a young Gullah Geechee girl who goes to Africa for the first time. Get Sean's One Night Before Bed children book and his From Cocaine to Consciousness book. All those books are on KofiPaisaTV.com. And if you don't have the cards, please get our educational cards. I appreciate people that's been supporting these cards. We put these cards out for Black History Month. I still have a few left. I sold out. This is my third box. I'm about done with my third box. We sold out of the first two boxes. Sold out of the first box. I had to re-up. We sold out of the second box. I got another box, and we about done with these. Been getting good feedback. These are educational quiz cards. Then we put out, right after Black History Month, we put out these face cards. It has a lot of our Black revolutionaries, our Black scholars, our Black teachers, our Black innovators, Black inventors on the front of the card, and even a few people that inspired me on the cards, like Asar and Hotep. You got a face card of him, Benjamin Njai, Ankh West, Dr. Oyama Ma'at, and Takao Kilimanjaro. So you can also get both of these on our website. Be looking for Volume 4 coming late August. Be looking forward to my publication when it's coming real soon. Soon as you blink your eyes, it's gonna be around the corner. But we're gonna talk more about that because it's gonna be surrounded around our business venture that we have, a new business that we have. So that book is gonna be the prototype for our business. Is also gonna be the prototype for our services that we're gonna be providing. Which, like I said, I'll go more in depth about our new business, which I'm excited for. Possibly tomorrow. We've been working on it for a few months. I've been up under mentorship, which I'll talk about that when we go public with the business. So I've been up under mentorship. So man, we're excited about that. And again, like I said, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Shemim Hotep. Shemim Hotep just means to depart in peace. Peace and Black African power. And we'll see y'all when we see y'all. We out. If I can get my mouse to hit the end, buddy.